Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be something that I have been waiting to talk about for so long now. I am so excited. I've been really wanting to bring a lot of light to this subject, a lot of truth, a lot of just honest opinions and where I stand and how to inspire others to love and build a stronger community with each other. I first want to say that all of this is just coming from the heart. I didn't even write down a single thing. I wanted this to really just come from my feelings and the top of my head, because that's just how I like to film these YouTube videos and talk about topics. I also want to mention that this is all just for entertainment purposes only. This is just truly my opinion. This is not to tell anybody how it is, or I'm not a doctor or a scientist. So this is just purely for entertainment purposes only. I just want to put that out there. As you can see by this title, this video is about me living my life as a plant-based vegan while dating someone who is not, who eats animals, dairy, eggs, fish, and how I learned to be okay with it, how I've learned to adapt, how I've learned to just live in synchronicity and understand and appreciate each other's differences and acceptance. Now, I know the traditional stereotype of a vegan is that we are always telling people that we're vegan. We have to just blurt it out to everybody. Or that we judge other people who are not vegan and we just eat basically piles of leaves and water and air. I think those are like the three main stereotypes that I hear all the time. This is not true. It's just not true. And I'm here to share that those aren't true and those are just made up stereotypes, and that vegans, plant-based people can actually live in harmony with themselves, other people, and not have to make a bold statement all the time. Because I am not somebody who makes a huge bold statement wherever I go. I'm not the type that has to tell everybody that I'm vegan just to say it, just to like prove a point or to, I don't know, feel superior or something. And I think that's a really hurtful and misinterpretation that vegans get. Let me backtrack a little bit. My vegan journey started probably about 6 or 7 years ago when I was living in Santa Barbara. It was not a really cold turkey type thing for me. It was a slow process. I started as a pescatarian where I only ate fish and dairy. And then I dabbled into being a vegetarian and then slowly worked my way into veganism. What inspired me was watching YouTube videos. I loved watching all of the classic YouTubers. Freely the Banana Girl was my OG girl. She is a tough cookie, to say the least. And then Ellen Fisher, my ride or die. I still watch her to this day. I absolutely love her. She is such a huge inspiration to me, and I'm probably going to mention her again later in this video because she really is the sole reason why she inspired me to talk about this subject. Ellen is, like I said, my biggest inspiration. She lives on Maui with her family. I think she has 3 kids and her husband. They live off their land. They're vegan. They eat whole foods, organic, homegrown. Their lifestyle is really natural, holistic, balanced, and she's an advocate for healthy parenting, home birthing, and healthy eating, essentially. Love her. And then there were some YouTubers that I was so passionately obsessed with that later on actually stopped being vegan. And my first reaction was to just feel totally mind blown. I was like, how in the world could they go 5+ years dedicating their whole lives to animals and veganism and living this animal-free lifestyle, and then just one day changing it? It just, like, my mind just I couldn't comprehend. So yes, my initial reaction was to get kind of upset at these people. It's like I trusted them, I looked up to them, and I started this entire journey because of them. I'm not going to mention their names because it's like it's in the past and it's, you know, that's their lives and that doesn't even matter to this story. But yeah, I held so much of my heart into these people. And when I found out that they changed their diets, I kind of looked at them as like traitors or imposters or liars. And it was only for a little bit that I felt like that, until I realized that that's not the right emotion to have towards those people. And when the rest of the world found out that these people were no longer vegan, the amount of hate and negativity that they got was so toxic. And that hurt my feelings to see. I really, as upset as I was, I didn't think that they deserved that. They didn't deserve to feel rejected and not loved anymore. So seeing the amount of hate that these people got, it really made me step back for a second and think, why is everybody so affected by these people changing their diets? One, because veganism, I think, you watch the slaughterhouse videos, you watch the animal cruelty videos, you watch the PETA videos, the countless videos on Instagram and YouTube of science experiments and cruelty to animals, just countless and countless animal cruelty videos. And your heart, that plays a huge role in your emotions. It really can, take a little jab at your heart for sure. I know when I watch those videos, I was heartbroken. I cried. I was depressed. It kind of messed me up for weeks sometimes when I would watch a single video. So I think a lot of love and a lot of our hearts go into this vegan lifestyle. It's so much more than just being a part of a status or a trendy crew or a trendy club or whatever you want to call it. It's so much more than that. It's our hearts, it's our feelings, it's our souls. It really is. At least that's what it is for me, and I think for a lot of people, it's so much more than just diet. So I understand why these people were getting so upset when they saw these people. And I think that's where the misrepresentation of vegans also comes into place, is because so many people fall so passionate about this movement that they aren't willing to stand down or step down at all when anybody tries to come in their way of the vegan path or what information they hold so strong and true to their hearts, which is understandable. A lot goes into this lifestyle. A lot of research, a lot of trial and error, a lot goes into it, a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifice. I get it. But I still believe that no matter what belief you have, vegan or non-vegan, I think it's so important to still understand and listen to each other's differences. Listen to each other's viewpoints, facts, beliefs, opinions. I think it's so important, rather than shutting it out, getting angry, and pointing fingers at one another. And that goes for anything in life, pretty much. We live in such a heavy and conflicted time in the world where there are just opinions being thrown around left and right. There are lines being drawn in the sand everywhere we look. It is like so overpowering to hear everybody's thoughts all the time. Now that we live in the social media world, it's like that's all we hear about. All we hear about is like this information overload. Here we are. So that brings me around to the topic of this video. I have been vegan, plant-based for 6 or 7 years now, and I have been dating my boyfriend for 4 years. And he is not vegan. Some of you might be like, wow, Riley, like how could you be a vegan or plant-based and date somebody who isn't? Isn't that going against the vegan rule or community, whatever? No. And I just don't think that that belief system is realistic or gonna really get me anywhere. It's just gonna cause tension in my relationships, friendships, family. I don't resonate with that, and I don't allow myself to think that way. And I must say, it hasn't always been easy dating someone who eats, all the normal things. It was a pretty hard adjustment. It was weird because I wasn't used to that. We started dating in a time where I was really, really like tunnel vision with veganism and being plant-based. Back in the day, my friends would be like, if you like started dating someone who ate meat, what would you do? And my answer would always be like, I don't really know. I haven't thought about that. Like, honestly, it probably would be kind of gross, I guess. I honestly am so grateful that we do have a relationship like this. I love our differences, and it's taught me so much. I have grown so much as a person, opening my heart up to my boyfriend and just accepting each other. I think that's the greatest gift, is to understand each other's differences, whether that's your friend, family, boyfriend, girlfriend. That's the biggest strength in a relationship you could ever have, is to just communicate and accept each other's differences. My boyfriend isn't here, obviously, to speak on his behalf, so I'm not going to really mention his lifestyle too much. And I'm going to be honest, I think in the beginning it was like my natural instinct to try to not change him, but to want to inspire him to make the change into veganism. And I think we did it in such a healthy and beautiful way. I think he, more than ever, has been so in touch with his body and his health and his diet than he ever has in his lifetime. And that makes me so happy. Sure, he's still eating, you know, a normal diet, but he is eating like whole foods, healthy foods, monitoring his nutrient levels, working out more, being more connected with himself. And I think that in itself is so beautiful, because before that, he wasn't very in tune with it. He didn't really pay attention to that stuff. He just kind of went by whatever was taught in school or taught his whole life, like many of us do. So I think that is something that I can be so grateful for and focus my energy on, rather than focusing on the fact that he's not a vegan with me, because that is just not realistic. And that's me trying to project a viewpoint onto him that feels right to me, but maybe doesn't feel right to him. And I think that's a huge valuable lesson, is that you can't change people, and what you think for yourself might not resonate with the other person, might not work for the other person. And that's that. I honestly think that everybody has the right to their own opinions, and we all hold a kind of like a library of information that we've gathered in our lives. We all do our own type of research. We all read our own certain books. We all hold what's true to us in our lives. And the only way to teach people is to lead by example. You really cannot do it any other way. You can't force anyone. You can't mold and shape anybody into the way that you want them to be. And I think a big reason why I'm so okay with dating somebody who is an animal consumer, that sounds so harsh. What I taught myself in order to be okay with dating somebody who isn't following the same path that I am, is that we're all on our own paths and life journeys in this lifetime. And honestly, I do believe that information and scientific research changes all the time. It is so hard to keep up with diets and what's good and what's bad for us. I think keeping it simple is the main thing, and following what really feels right to you. Educating yourself on things that feel really correct and align with yourself, your own beliefs. For me, right now, in this moment, for the past 7 years, living a vegan and plant-based lifestyle has felt right for me. That's what works for my body, my lifestyle. It's what makes me happy. It's what I'm passionate about. And for my boyfriend, is approaching health in a totally different way, in a more traditional way. And that's beautiful. Who am I to sit here and say that my beliefs are the only correct beliefs, and if anybody else doesn't agree with me, then they're wrong, they're stupid, and I don't want to talk to them. That's not okay. I don't think that that's okay. I think there's beauty that I can learn from my boyfriend as well on how he lives his life. So what got me really interested in wanting to talk about this topic is the Ellen Fisher podcast. She recently just started a podcast. It's really, really awesome. And she sits down with her friend who eats animals, eats meat, eats dairy, and Ellen has been vegan for, I don't know how long she's been vegan, but the literal title of the video is vegan versus meat eater or something like that. And I thought it was so well done. They both state the fact that they have no heated feelings towards each other. There's no rivalry. There's no battles, there's nothing that people just automatically assume would go on, especially coming from Ellen's side. I think just automatically when you present to the world that you are vegan or plant-based, you are automatically like put on this list of like, oh, they are judgy, which isn't true. So I really love that they really try to state the fact that they don't care about each other's differences and they're down to talk about it. And they love talking about it with each other because they learn things from each other and they both find the things that resonate to them equally. Like they have similarities in their debates. No matter what foods they eat, they can always find something that they both agree on. Definitely go check this video out. I highly recommend. It is so well done. They are so well spoken and there's so much amazing information in here that you can learn from. I will try to link the video down below for you guys. Definitely go check that out. Circling back around to the beginning of this video when I mentioned the YouTubers that stopped being vegan and how absolutely mind blown I was in the beginning. What I've learned from that situation and what I know now from the Ellen Fisher podcast and just from life experience is that everybody has their own story and you really can't judge somebody based on their health and their life, their diet decisions. And the more we play into the role of division and hate and negativity, the more we create chaos in our world. And the best thing to do is to, number one, stand true to your truth. What is your truth? What do you believe in? I think that is something that you hold within you. That's sacred. That's yours to keep. That's beautiful. And to understand that your truth may change one day. Something can come along in your life, some health problem, some life event. Things can change in the blink of an eye in our world. And your beliefs that you might have today might change tomorrow. And the more forgiveness that I practice to other people, I will give to myself. And the more forgiveness that you decide to practice, you are allowing forgiveness for yourself. You are allowing space for more self-love and more happiness and more positivity. I think that's really important to stand by and to understand. And if I only focus so much on life on how many people can I make vegan, I think I'm missing a lot of underlying details on what my actual true intention is. What I would actually say now is I want to help people get in touch with their bodies and nature way more than they ever have. I would love for people to have more intuition and realistic eating and live a more abundant, whole food, natural, holistic lifestyle. That's what I stand by. I don't want to slap on a label or a word and say that that's what I want everybody to do, because it's not anymore. I've had to learn that. So with that being said, yes, I'm going to continue living my plant-based lifestyle for as long as my life has it set out for me. Who knows how many more years that can be? That could be my whole lifetime. That can be a year. That can be a month. Who knows? But for right now, it's what feels right to me and it's what my truth is. For everybody else in my life who doesn't do the same, that's great. That's amazing. I just hope that everybody is on this path of more self-love, happiness, positivity, and feeling good. And loving each other and ourselves, because that's what we need to focus on more. I'm so tired of seeing differences break apart families and friendships, because during this wild last 2 years, as we all know, I don't even want to say the words, a lot of division has been brought into people's lives. Families over the holidays, I know my family was affected by our differences and we didn't get to see one another because of it. And to think that your beliefs are the only beliefs, I think it shows a lot of ignorance. If anything, I think no matter how much information you have about one thing, I think if you decide not to listen to other people's opinions or viewpoints, that in itself is ignorance. Because you're not even willing to hear another person's perspective or the things that they learn. Alright, so that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun opening my heart up to you guys and sharing some thoughts and feelings, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.